Yeah, so like when I first started like working with Tyler, like I was like, I don't want to say I look like shit, but like I remember a moment where I was kind of embarrassed, but it was true. You said on one of the group calls, you were like, Dylan's making all this money, he doesn't look like crazy or anything, and it was kind of fucked up.
I'd be doing shit like that.
No, but it was kind of it was true though. So it's kind of like a come to Jesus moment. It's like, all right, like your physique is important.
Yep.
When you're fitness coaching, like, and I tell my mentees that it's like it's like you putting food into your body and training hard is an investment in your business, because the better you look, the more qualified you are. You know. Now I do think I think it gets to a point where you can look too crazy and people will be like, he's a meathead. Yep. I don't think I'm there yet, but I do think that it can get to a point where that is.
You have to try pretty damn hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
To try pretty damn hard.
But to answer your question, I was building for a show, and it got to a point where I was like staying up to like 2 a.m. trying to eat, and I was like, if it's this difficult for me to bulk going into a prep, I'm not gonna be able to scale and prioritize that. And if I do try to do that, I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, I used to be in that world. It's a full-time job.
It is.
Just competing alone is a full-time job.
Yeah, but I mean, go ahead and introduce yourself. Just kind of tell them who you are.
Oh, my name's Tyler. So, what do you want to know about me? Like what I've done?
No, just like your background.
Oh yeah,
Coast Guard.
so name's Tyler. Coast Guard when I was 19, right out of high school. Moved out on my own actually at 18. Then I had some shit roommates, so I went to the Coast Guard. That was my way of actually getting out of a bad situation. After getting out of the Coast Guard, came back home and I just started effing off. And it got to the point where I reached out to my mom living in Galveston because I was in Vegas. And I was like, hey, can I come move back with you for at least 6 months so I can really dial in, focus? And that's actually when I did my first show. Mm-hmm. So for 6 months, I just worked on getting ready for a show and making YouTubes of me getting ready for the show. So I kind of got into this business without even knowing it on accident when I was younger because this stuff didn't exist yet. So I got 5,000 subscribers. My life fell on track, so I moved back to Vegas. Then I worked at the club, hurt my arm one day, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. This is my chance to get out of the normal 9 to 5 because I hated it. Went to a gym, gave them rent, had no clients, and then I messaged all the girls I worked with. I was like, yo, I'm going to start training in Vegas, almost acting like I did it or something before. I was like, I'd love to give you a free session. Just tag me on your story. That's it. So I got like 10 girls to come in. They all tagged me on their story. And a month later, I had 30 in-person clients. From there, went online, did quite a bit of money with online coaching. Then I did business consulting for fitness coaches. And now I'm just kind of moving with where life takes me.
Yeah, yeah. So... kind of talk me through like how you made the transition from like in person to online.
Easy, yeah. So I was posting a shit ton when I was doing in-person coaching. So every workout, I would post a clip from each workout. So like if I was training you, for example, and we were doing an arm day, say the first was bicep curls, the next was tricep pushdowns, the next was overhead tricep extension. I would show you doing each thing.
Right.
And I would tag you in each one. And I was training girls. And so they liked the way they looked. So they would all repost it. So all day I'm getting reposts and girls are following me watching workouts all day. And it started getting to the point where I would take some of that content, post it on TikTok and Instagram. And then I had one video. And I was, okay, take a step back. I made a digital product on Shopify. For $100, just $100 product. I was like, well, in case any of my videos blow up, I should probably have a digital product ready. Right. Nothing was connected to it yet. It was just a digital product with nothing attached to it. I posted a video on TikTok and it got like a few 100,000 views. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like ding, 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 sale. And I made like $1,000 while training one day. And I was like, what the fuck? And then the next day I made like 3,000.
That was on like your, that was like a plan?
Yeah, but then I had to get home and actually make a plan and then send it to them all because there was nothing attached to it. Yeah. I just put one and one together. I was like, if I'm posting and I have nothing for people to buy, logically this doesn't make sense. I should have something. Right. And then it got to the point where I was losing money being at the gym all day. My online clients were getting pissed at me because I was never available because I was in person all day. So I started losing money and I was making about $12,000 a month with in-person coaching. And then I cold turkey quit and then went all in online. And then actually after that, my online started going down. It's kind of how life works, I think. It's like on purpose, like a test. And then on like the third month, I posted a video, got 18 million views, made $70K in 2 days. And then the rest was history.
In 2 days?
Dude, that was like, that was the most I ever made with fitness. Still to this day, 2 days, $70K. Low ticket. 18 million views on TikTok, 2 days.
That's insane.
If you have something set up, bro, and you make a video that's specifically for that thing and it gets 18 million views, you're going to make some money.
Yeah.
And then I got permanently banned off TikTok after the second day. So I probably would have made, no joke, probably a few 100,000.
Why'd you get banned?
It was a girl in a bathing suit. It was a fucking me pointing at a girl in a bathing suit. I went. It was a 5-second video saying she went from this to this, and I got permanently banned. I was out golfing, and I'm making money. It's all like ding, 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 and then all of a sudden it stops, and I'm like,
what happened?
And I went to my TikTok, and they're like, you're permanently banned, and bro, I was freaking out. It took me like 2 weeks to get it back.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of talk me through.
That was like the beginning days. Damn.
So you were doing business coaches. So if y'all don't know. So Tyler was my first mentor. I was in law school. Man, so it's kind of crazy. So like my frat brother, I went out of my way. I'd already worked out, and Quinn Spencer, he came down. I had never met him before. I met him through another attorney while I was in law school, and he was like Quinn was training this guy. So they were both my frat brothers. So they connected us. So Quinn came down to my city. And I was like, all right, I'm going to meet him, and I'm going to go work out with him. So I went, and then he told me about this online mentorship program, and you hear this shit all the time. You're like, oh, this shit's a scam. Like, there's no way. And there was this girl that I know, Sophia Johns. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah.
But she had made,
actually, wow.
Yeah,
I do remember her.
Yeah, so she had made like $1,000, I think. It was like our first sale.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she can do this shit. I can do this shit. Nothing against her, but I'm just like, all right, she's in undergrad. I'm in grad school. Like, we're both in fitness. If she can make some money, I can make some money. So I literally started working before I even got into the mentorship program. But Quinn, it took me like this Cat Williams thing.
You guys went in person?
We went to Cat Williams that night. And I'm like, this dude's just trying to sell me this bullshit. But I started working before I even got into the mentorship program. And I don't think people understand like the level, like the mentality you have to be an entrepreneur, because like I was literally working before I even like paid for the program. Like I was like messaging people, and I'm like trying to book calls and stuff before I even knew how to do that. And like we got on the call, or I don't even think it was before we got on the call. Like I told Quinn, I'm like, dude, how do I pay? And then you're like trying to take me to the sales call. I'm like, dude, like I'm ready to start. And like, do you remember that? Not really. You've probably taken. Maybe it was Ashley. I think it was you. Yeah, I think it was you.
Ashley's never did sales.
Yeah, so it was you.
It was me. Wow.
It was you, and yeah, it was you.
I actually had to do my first sales call today in like a year.
Really?
Yeah, because one of my people just
Yeah, so we hopped on a sales call.
Sales call today in like a year.
And we were trying to figure out like the payment processing, because like I didn't have the money. I had like $2,000 in my account. I was in law school, so I didn't have any money coming in. So like I can't do that. So I got approved for I think like $3,000 through a firm. So I was like, all right, like I have we got it set up to where I think it was like the 12 months. So I was like, all right, I have a couple of months of cushion, but I'm still having to pay rent, still having to pay for my lifestyle. Like, and I didn't have an expensive lifestyle, but I still had things I had to pay for, and I didn't have any income coming in. So I was in debt, and I was like, I have to make this work. Like my back was literally against the wall. And I remember like the first week, like I'm booking calls and stuff. I didn't really tell him. And he's like, dude, what are you doing?
I'll never forget that.
He's like, what the fuck?
Stories to this day.
Yeah, I set up a PowerPoint and everything, and I took like 5 people through. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like you're doing this shit all wrong. So I went through like the sales portion of the course or whatever.
I'll never forget that shit.
And I don't think I ever did a mock sales call, but I watched the mock sales call. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing this shit so wrong. And that's why I say information is power, because like you just don't know what you don't know. Yep. And until I like got a script and kind of understood like sales and for the framing and stuff, I was just so lost.
Yeah, dude, it was. So I told you that, and then you had a call at midnight. He FaceTimes me at fucking midnight, and his shirt's off. He's like, I just made a sale. I'm like, you just took a sale like that? And he's like, yeah, midnight. And then an hour later, like 1 a.m., you made another sale. Do you remember that? You made like 4K that same night, and it was like.
So I made 2K one night because.
Dude, it was like back to back. It was just out of nowhere.
This girl, I booked the call and she didn't answer.
Oh,
she didn't show. She didn't show.
I was like,
and I texted her, I'm like, dude, like she didn't show up to the call. Like
Fuck.
I was pissed. And he was like, bro, calm down. Text her, ask her if everything's okay. And I did that. And then she's like, yeah, I just overslept. Got on the call, closed her.
Yeah. Because you can never, like, if someone misses a call or something happens, you have to almost act like, oh, did something happen? Was there a miscommunication? Was there a misunderstanding? Was there a problem with you almost have to put the power in there, like, oh yeah, there was, and then they'll get on. So, because if you come at them, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore them and block them.
And I mean, it was kind of a sign because I ended up refunding her some money, but that's a big mistake I made when I first started. I refunded like 2 or 3 people, but I ended up making like $16K in my first week, and then I ended up doing and this is why having a mentor is so important. So I made $16K my first week, but then I didn't make any money for like a week or 2. So imagine making all this money and then being like not making any money. So it's like, damn, was it a fluke? And then I texted Tyler. I'm like, bro, like I'm kind of stuck. Like and he hit me and he was like, bro, like here's the thing. If you are coaching these people, getting them results, even if you're not making money, you're still moving the business forward. So it kind of just reframed the business for me. And then we launched a free challenge, and then I ended up doing like $30K my first month. And then that's kind of when I decided, like, I was like, all right, like law school probably isn't for me. Like I'm making more than my professors.
Me, I was like, well, I asked you, I said, what does a top person in your field make after 20 years? And you gave me the number. I'm like, well, you're going to hit that your first year. And I'm like, okay, what does your internship pay a year? You told me, I'm like, well, you're going to hit that in a month and a half. So, I mean, you tell me, it's up to you, but you tell me. No, yeah. So here's the thing. He was bringing up like, people who become successful, they're already making it happen before they're making it happen. Like when you said, like, you have that hunger, that drive in you. Like I have a kid right now who joined Be Your Own Boss before I stopped taking people on. And he's 18, he's just grinding, messaging people. And he already made $3K last week. He has the grind in him. And I used him as an example today on the call. I was like, you see Owen everyone? I was like, he's just taking action. He's just making it happen. He's being an entrepreneur. He's not just sitting, waiting for something to fall out of the sky and expecting it to happen. Like you have to, it's like, that's why it's the 1%, bro. Like it's a mindset thing. It's everything. You have to have that drive and hunger in you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was selling e-cigs in middle school. I was throwing parties for money because this stuff didn't exist back in the day. I was finding any way I could to hustle, make money, and grind. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where if you're watching this and you don't do shit and you don't have any grinding, you need to figure out a way to get a grind in you, or it's going to be mission impossible because the shit's not going to fall out of the sky. You know what I mean? Like you said, you were doing it before you even came on. And I'm thinking about myself. My first mentor, I paid $12,000 and I just started working my ass off, barely using the stuff. But I was like, okay, I got to make this shit happen now. I don't know. There's a pattern you see whenever you see someone successful. They always had the fucking hardcore grind in them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So with you switching from like B2B and like the mentorship to fitness, what kind of sparked that? And then, yeah, I mean, just kind of talk me through the transition from like fitness to business to fitness again.
Well, where I'm at now is completely different. It's a completely different reasons. But the reason I went from fitness to business was honestly more of where I could see myself, like in the next chapter of my life. I was like, okay, I've made a lot of money with fitness. I think I could teach this to people. People are already asking me, because you know how it gets. People start asking you. Like a lot of people start messaging me and asking me when I started doing well. So I was like, I think I would really enjoy teaching people how to do this and having a new business model and not just only doing fitness. Right? Which I think was a mistake. I should have kept both going. So that's why I made the transition from fitness to business. I felt like it was the next stepping stone in life. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm upgrading, like I'm going to the next thing, the higher leverage thing, that I'm going to make more because I'm solving a bigger problem. I'm teaching people how to make money. Right. So to me, I looked at it like a better business model. Now, the point I'm at now, kind of integrating with fitness again, is because there's other things I want to do. So I'm going to launch a company. So I'm developing an app right now. It's a company. It's not involved in my face, personal brand. I'll have sponsored people, YouTubers, ads running. It'll become a company. And then I'm doing other stuff with like more fun personal branding, more of a passion. And then fitness. Listen, if you're watching this, fitness coaching is the best business. It's such a good business. I'm going back to it to scale the fuck out of it and there not be too much work on my plate. To be very transparent with you, I think I can get it to 2, 3, 4, 500,000 a month, where it's not even 10% of the stress of other kind of things. So I think it's more scalable, and I can remove myself and focus on other ventures. Yeah. And then just worry about my current clients right now. So that's why it's just a business move, an upgrade move. Taking a step back to take 10 steps forward.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So what do you feel like was like the biggest struggle with B2B? Because I'm sure we probably experienced some of the same things, like people getting the strategy and not putting in the work. Just a victim mentality. Like, what do you feel like has been?
Yeah, so the biggest problem with B2B, I'll tell you right now. So it's easier than ever to get ahead in life. It's fucking easy. Like, everyone's lazy, distracted. If you stick to anything, you're going to become very successful at it. Like, it's easy to become successful because everyone quits.
Right.
The hardest part about B2B is people who don't want more for their life getting motivated for a split second, it not being instantaneous, and you having to convince them to want more for their life. So you shouldn't have to have anyone tell you you should want more for your life. You should just want more for your life. You should be hungry. It should keep you up at night. Like, I honestly don't know, and I'm sure you've heard this from like people like Andrew Tate and Alex Ramosi, but like, I really mean this. Like, when I'm not doing how I want, I can't sleep at night. Like, I dead ass can't sleep at night. I'll stay up, I'll be brainstorming, and I'll keep myself up at night. So the hardest part about B2B is babysitting and trying to convince people to want more for their own lives. You know what I mean? Like, giving everything they can on a silver platter and being like, dude, want more for your life. It's right here. It's right there. Like, on that thing. It's really that simple. Yeah. So the hardest part for me was like not understanding how people didn't just want more for their life.
Right.
Like, how do you see all this laid out logically and still not take action? So getting people to take action and having that grace that it takes time for people to really embody the entrepreneur mindset, which I got better and better and better at, and I'm better at, and I understand people who aren't used to that, it takes time for them to develop that. So that's the hardest part. I think anyone with anything, if you're trying to help a fitness client, it's like if they're not used to going to the gym, getting them to get used to going to the gym. Like, you need to go in the gym, you need to work out. So that was the hardest part.
Yeah. And I feel like part of that has to do with like the niche too.
Yeah.
Because if you're working with coaches that are just starting, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're working with coaches that are trying to scale or.
It's completely different.
You know, so I think that plays into it. But you said something, and I want to talk about like you saying that not being where you want to be keeps you up at night, because that's subjective, right? So it plays into like your standards for yourself, and that's what I want people to understand. Is like $10,000 a month for me will put me in the hole. So for a lot of people, they're like, I wish I could make six figures, but like for me, that's like not near enough. Like I need to be at $100K a month, and he's already gotten there. So I'm sure his goal is like way above that. But for me, that's the next milestone, right? Where would you say your standards are, and like what keeps you up? Like, what's your next goal? Like, where? Yeah, like at night, what do you think about? Like, where do you need to be right now?
Okay, right now I have grace with myself because now I see a vision. I have a little aggressive with the work, patient with the result. So I can see the vision playing out, like how it's going to play out. What keeps me up at night is if I'm not progressing forward and I don't see it moving the way I know it should be going, and I feel like kind of stagnant with how I'm progressing. That fucks me up bad. So, but yeah, if I was hitting under 20, 30, 40K months back, then I would definitely be kept up at night. Yeah, dude, my overhead right now is like 30K a month just to break even. You know what I mean? So when you have that kind of pressure, it forces you, like, pressure creates diamonds. So yeah. I've gotten used to no matter what, you can make a certain amount because of the obligations you have. But where I want to be in the future, I would say in a year, I want to be doing over 500 a month. Because just all the knowledge I have now, it's like, to me, if I'm not there in a year with what I'm doing, I'm like, how am I not? Because you know how you have so much knowledge now. Now it's almost like you have these standards on yourself. And like a year from now, if you're not where you think you should be, you're like, how do I know all these things? I see all these people doing it, and I'm not. So that would fuck me up a little. So that's why I'm working hard. Because the thing that really motivates me, like, and pushes me whenever I feel lazy or stuck, is in a year from now, I'm either going to showed up or I didn't show up. Like, that year's going to go by regardless. And I don't know if you guys ever experienced regret. So I'm 29. So I experienced my first dose of regret for no reason. Because when you turn 29, I think it's like a weird year. And I felt this feeling of like, did I do my 20s right? I felt like what regret feels like big time. Yeah. Even though I liked where I was at. But I still felt that regret feeling. And I could tell you guys, it's the worst feeling in the world. So that's like what really motivates me now is I know in the future, you're going to be faced with you either did your best and you showed up, or you're going to be living in a lot of regret, right? And the year's going to go by whether you like it or not. So you better, or might as well capitalize on every moment and try your hardest because it's going to go by regardless. You're either going to been effing off or doing shit. And the version of you is going to be really happy that you showed up, or there's a version of you that's living in regret. And I think regret's the worst feeling. I don't think there's any feeling that compares to it, because I kind of felt it and I was like, I don't want to ever feel that again.
She's in there, Terrence. Yeah, no, but no, I agree with what you're saying. Like, and that's kind of like why, like, we had the conversation with Miguel. It's like school. Like, I mean, if you want to be a doctor or an attorney, like, yeah, it makes sense. An engineer, but dude, if you want to be an entrepreneur or marketer, like, the best thing to do is to get experience and actually do it.
That's super. Anyone looks for.
You know, like I get on calls with kids all the time, 19, 20, 21. They say they want to build a fitness business, et cetera. And it's like, bro, the thing is like, you can start now, or there you go. It's like, you can either start now and have 5-10 years of experience, or you can start when you're 30 or 40, like the other mentees that I have, and then just lose 10, 15, 20 years of experience, and you could have been by then you could have been a fucking 8-figure entrepreneur. You know, you never know. So, like, that urgency, and I think about it all the time. I'm like, bro, if I would have got into this shit when I was 18, 19, 20, I'd be fucking rich. I mean, look at Vincent Fisher, look at fucking John Mark, look at all these fucking Sam Millsap.
It wasn't around yet. Even it was probably around when you were like 20, 21.
Yeah, when it really started popping.
It didn't start for me like until 25. That's like when it started.
Yeah, it's like 4 years ago.
Shit didn't exist. Like, this 18-year-old, I'm like, bro. I said that, I called it. I was like, bro. You're very successful. Congrats, man.
Yeah, so like 3-4 years ago, I mean, 20, I mean, but the thing is like, in business, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Like 3 years in business.
5 solid years, you will be rich if you stick to one thing and stay on it with any proven business. I think, like, fully locked in, fully focused, 5 years, that's what you need.
Yeah.
To like make over $1 million, for sure.
I mean, dude, I'm about to. I mean,
sure. Like, guaranteed.
I'll cross $1 million in the next year.
That's what I'm saying, for sure.
You
It's
know?
like almost a guarantee. A proven model,
Yeah.
Like, I think fitness coaching service based, dude, they've been around since the beginning of time.
Right.
That's why whenever anyone brings this up, I'm like, you realize this business has been around since the beginning of time. Now we're just utilizing the internet. It's a problem. You have the solution. People pay for the solution. It's a service.
And it's
not
so much more scalable.
It's not rocket science. Like, you have the solution to the biggest problem in the world. 85% of people hate how they feel, look, depressed, and that's just the statistic. I bet it's really 95%.
Yeah.
I think fitness coaching service-based business is a business you never have to worry about. It covers the 3 quadrants that are never going anywhere, which is health, wealth, relationship. It covers all 3. Because when you get healthier and more fit, you get healthier, you make more money because you feel better, and you do better in relationships because now you're more confident. Yeah. So I think anything with fitness in general is you're gonna be set and safe for life if you're not soft and fucking quit after a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's difficult for a lot of people. You know,
for most. Actually, I'll say another thing, because I'm sure a lot of young people are watching this. So anytime I meet someone young, anytime, dude, even Owen, I'm sure I probably said this to Miguel. If I ever meet at 18, 19, 20, 21, even 23, I'm like, when you're my age, you're going to feel the same exact way you do right now. Nothing's going to be different. Like, your energy, how you feel, you're probably going to look better. You're going to have the same parties, the same clubs, the same girls. Everything's going to be the same. And you're going to either wish you fucking did work in your 20s, or you're going to be like, fuck, now I'm unhappy, depressed, I can barely afford my bills. Girls are walking all over me.
So you're going to work for the dude with the yacht, or you're going to be sitting on the sideline watching the dude?
Yeah, dude, hey, how do I get girls? Fucking be successful and go to the gym. That's it. That's it. Like, bro, girls don't respect dudes who aren't doing anything. You know what I mean? Like if they can choose from everyone, why the fuck would they choose you? Like, you have to ask yourself that. Okay, I'm doing this, and that. Yeah, that's why they want me. Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm no drive for myself. I'm a victim. I'm sad every day. Like, why the fuck would they want that? Yeah. So I always tell young guys, you're going to feel the exact same way you do right now when you're 29, when you're 28. You're going to feel the same way. You're going to feel no different, and you're either going to wish you showed up, or you're going to be like, shit, I should have showed up.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question. So explain your experience with relationships being an entrepreneur, because from my experience, it can be difficult. I know that's a good question. Because from my experience, it can be difficult because it's difficult, especially as a entrepreneur that's trying to grow and scale, because you have to balance. You don't have a lot of time. Like, I mean, you have a set amount of time, and you have to figure out how to allocate that time either to the people that you love or to the business that you're trying to grow. So you kind of have to pick. So what's been your experience?
So I'll tell you my my opinion on it, when you're in our world, you have a different timeline than other guys. So I think guys who are very okay with the typical route, they just want to make decent money, be able to provide for the family, go to work, come home, they have a different timeline. I think like the whole timeline of having kids, getting married, everything it's almost more expected younger. Yeah. For people like us, and there's those people who get married young, right? They find the right person. But my opinion on it is, as a dude, you have to be mission focused first, because if not, you're actually being selfish, because you being selfish now is providing for everyone in the future. And if you're not mission focused, you're not going to get there. So with that being said, with relationships, you're going to have to be very upfront and find someone that you let them know, like, hey, this comes first. You know, I'm doing this for this reason. And anytime I have left over for you, honestly, like, be grateful for that, because I'm working my ass off. So my opinion on it is, or my experience with it is, if you don't do that up front, it causes unrealistic expectations for the other party, which isn't fair. You know what I mean? So if you're not upfront about that, they're like, oh, how does he have no time to give me? He cares more about this thing than me. Am I not important? No, you're important, but I'm focused on the mission. This is going to get us to where we want to be. So my experience is, you're going to ruin a lot of relationships and turn a lot of people off during your road to becoming successful, because it is very selfish building a business. It feels very selfish. You have to give all your time, energy, right? Like, yeah. I'm sure right now you feel like it's all you're focused on. So now going into my opinion, as a dude, I think you should be mission focused first. And if the right girl comes along, sure, but I don't think you should be focused on that. I think you should be focused purely on the business, the mission, and then the right girl will just show up. It'll come and do.
Okay. So from your personal experience, like, what does that look like?
Like, how's life right now?
That, like, just with relationships, because I know for me, and it doesn't even have to. So I guess for me, like, being an entrepreneur and like experiencing relationships is like, you have a lot of time. And like I said, you have to figure out how to allocate that time, and you can either spend it doing bullshit, or you can spend it trying to grow your business. So it's a little bit, I feel like you have to have more self-control, more discipline as an entrepreneur, because you have to decide how you spend your time. It's not like you show up, you clock in, you clock out, you go home. Like, you are always in the business. Like you're never not an entrepreneur, you know, at all times of the day. Like, when you wake up, all throughout the day, when you go to sleep, like, you have to constantly be thinking about that.
Like, we don't get days off. Like,
yeah.
People are like, how many hours do you work today? I'm like, I'm always working. I don't know. I'm just always working.
Right. Yeah. So I guess my question is, like, what's been your anecdotal experience? Like, because for me, I found that, especially like with what us doing, with the field that we're in being so sales heavy, I've found that trait has kind of sabotaged, I feel like, my relationships, because I'm very, I don't want to say combative.
Your objection handling.
Exactly. And a lot of times it can come off as manipulative. Yeah. And sales, like, we call it ethical manipulation. But I've kind of explained that to somebody, because I recognize that about myself. It's like, I look at conversations like sales calls. Right. 100%. So it's like, when we're talking, I'm trying to figure out, I'm not listening to listen. I'm listening to respond.
Yep.
You know, so what's been your experience, like, because, I mean, for a long time you were taking sales calls. I mean, now you have a team. What's been your experience as far as, like, relationships and having that background, and just fitness I feel like is really sales heavy. So what's been your experience with that? Like, just in your day-to-day relationships.
Like with girls?
Yes.
What's been my experience? It's a very interesting question.
It's deep. I feel like
okay, with girls, they'll think I'm really good at communicating and talking, and it's a different experience for them, for sure. Like, I know how to go about a conversation a lot better, I think, than most, especially with random people, because you look at everything like sales calls, like, you're listening, you're making them feel heard, like, you're good at playing into that, right?
But you probably have a different approach to sales than I have, though, which is probably why.
Okay, so with I have two different approaches. With fitness, it's very much their pain points. I think sales is change. Change occurs when there's a pain, right? You had a couch in here. If I was If you had 20 people coming over tonight for a UFC event and you had no couch, you'd be like, oh, that's embarrassing. I need to go buy a couch because you had a pain point which caused you to make a change. So everything I do with sales is pain point. Because if there's no pain point to me that with my whole philosophy, why the hell are they going to make a change? You know what I mean? So I guess when I'm in conversations, I'm so sick of myself. Or when I'm talking with girls, I'm so sick of hearing about myself because I have a team. I'm always talking about the business. So whenever I talk to someone, I'm like relieved not to talk about me. I'm relieved not to talk about the business. So they probably think I really like am intrigued, care. You know what I mean? And then, so my experience is, I don't know, better communication. Is that what you're asking me? I'm trying my best to answer it.
But your experience is just a little different than mine because I would say, because it sounds like you're more of like a passive seller, kind of like a Jeremy Lee Minor. I'm more like, I have like more of the Austin Medlin approach where I'm kind of more of an aggressive seller. With
sales, I'm probably one of them, like once the prices drop, you have to flip the switch. You have to become a savage. Yeah. I'm very much extreme. So, I mean, if you wanted me to do a sales objection with fitness and a girl, I would tell you the difference of a guy going into Be Your Own Boss. Completely different. Right. Completely different. Like guys who join Be Your Own Boss are like, dude, Tyler, rip me apart. Yeah. Like, but then a girl would be like, damn, he made me realize like I'm valuing $1 over my life, you know? Yeah. Like, or why am I going to put the power in the hands of someone, you know? So I handle things different. But with girls in general, like as an entrepreneur, let me just put it this way. When you're doing more for yourself, you're a dude, you're building, you're rare. Girls are, if you struggle with girls right now, build a business, focus on yourself. Trust me, you won't have any problems with girls wanting you. I guess that's my best answer to that. Like girls can see when there's winners. Girls can see when there's dudes that are driven wanting more. It stands out nowadays. Yeah, we're in Miami, so it's kind of normal here, but in the world, it's very rare.
So do you feel like you seek an entrepreneur? Because for me, like, because kind of, and I'm basing this based on what you said, because you kind of said like you like to talk about them, and for me, like I find myself oftentimes like just always talking about my business, and because I get excited about it, right? So I feel like for me, I kind of need somebody with that same kind of mentality that is also building something, that is excited about it, or it just won't work because it seems like I'm being self-centered and selfish, but in reality, I'm just excited about my business. So, like, do you feel like you seek more like a housewife, or do you seek like a Layla Hormozy? Like, where do you feel like you're at as far as that?
So right now, I don't want. I can't see anything, but the reason. If I was to have a conversation, it would be, I want to hear about them. I just want them to do some talking. It's almost like me taking a fucking break.
They're not that interesting?
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, they might not be, but my point is, I feel like I've been in this world for 6 years. I'm exhausted from talking about business and my stuff. That's fair. I'm exhausted now. So to me, it's like, for that to even come up in a conversation with a girl, it would be like work. I'd be like, I came here to not be at work. So with a girl, at first, if I was talking to a girl, I would want it to be nothing about work. And dude, and I think it's better. You're more it's more of a mystery. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does this guy do? What's he about? He cares more about hearing about me. No guy has ever wanted to hear about me. You know what I mean? So, but it's not me trying to be manipulative. Like, I literally would rather hear someone explain their stuff and their normal life compared to me having to re-say the things I'm talking about all day, every day. Yeah. So that's why. So I guess. In a girl right now, thinking about having a Layla Hormozy in my life, they're amazing. They're the best couple ever. I don't think I would want that.
You don't want that?
I don't think I would want, like, when I go to my person, it to be only about work and stuff. In the past, if you asked me, I would say yes. But now that I'm not a blue belt anymore, and I'm starting to slowly, get up there with belts. Like, I've been in the, you know how it is, man. It's been years. We deal with a lot. I don't think I would want that now. I would want a girl that's a little more, housewife, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for that right now. But back then I would have wanted the more like Layla Hormozy, but I don't think I would want that now. No.
Yeah. That's fair. So what would you say is the most difficult part about being an entrepreneur? Tough questions.
It's changed. It's okay. In the beginning, it was you always being scared if you can repeat what you just did. Like, you just had a 10K month. Can I do it again? Okay, can I do it again? Okay, I just did it 3 times. Can I do it again? Okay, can I get to 20K now? So that was the hardest part, is like the uncertainty.
Yeah.
Now to me, this feels normal, dude, now. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm even an entrepreneur anymore. It doesn't even feel like.
It's predictable.
Yeah, like I feel like this is just what I'm doing. So the hardest part now is the progression. It's like when you're not progressing how you think you should be, and having the patience, because you're going to have ebbs and flows. So I would say the being able to be aggressive with the work, patient with the results. That's the hardest part, because I'm one of those people that's like, success likes speed. I like to move quick. When I have an idea, I'm on the phone with developers the next day and getting the ads going. Like I move very quick. So when I don't see things moving as quick as I want it to be, when I feel like I'm doing all the work I can, right? So yeah, when things aren't moving as quick, the progression.
Yeah.
What about you?
Dude, for me, I would say a lot of times I feel like it's like doing the work. Like, it's like I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. Like it's a work ethic thing. Like and I can be truthful about that with myself, and I feel like that's the first step to like growing. Like I have no doubt in my mind that I have the knowledge to be making $100K a month. Like we did 70 in July. I did 60 in August. I cleared 50 about both months. Revenue shares with people, et cetera, partners. But I think the biggest thing is just like actually doing what I know I need to do. You know? Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like internal. It's just like internal dialogue and just like flipping the switch. You know, I do feel like, I don't want to say I feel like I lost some hunger, because like the business is growing. You know, like we're trending upwards, but I don't feel like it's growing at the rate that it could grow with the knowledge that I have.
That's what I was just talking about. When you feel like you have all the knowledge, you're doing what you should be, and you're not seeing the results you think. So you're going through a phase right now, and I'm going through my next phase too. It's where I don't know how to word it properly, but it's where you have the results aren't matching the preparation and the work. And I think people go through that period because it's actually turning you into the person that'll be able to handle it when it actually catches up. So you're going through, I used to have a name for it. You're going through that period, your gap period, where you're up here, but the results are right here. It's not lining up. And I think you getting through that and creating good habits and turns you into more of a man, a better business person, better with your emotions, better with your mindset. So when you're there, you can actually handle it and then keep growing and scaling. Because if not, most people, if they get it too quick, it'll actually like destroy them, ruin them for many different reasons. So I think you're just going through your gap period. Yeah. And I'm going through my gap period right now because I'm doing new things and I'm like, fuck, I'm doing all this. Why am I, the results should be right here, but they're not. But you learn over time to be more patient with that and more mature with it. Like right now, I don't look at other people who are doing better than me that have less knowledge than me, because I'm like, oh, my time's coming. I'm doing all the right work. It's going to get there eventually. I just got to keep it going. And I'm trying to make different moves than them. Their situation's not my situation. Yeah. So, but with work ethic, dude, you just got to like literally when you need to do something, you need to be like, bro, like I'm not a bitch. Like, am I a bitch or am I not a bitch? Like, do I need to do the work, or like what would the successful version of me do? Would they do the work or not do the work? They would do the work. Yeah. So you just got to fucking like just kind of talk shit to yourself a little. Yeah. That's what I do whenever I don't want to do the work.
That's what it is. Yep. That's what it is. And I tell my mentees that, you know, and it's something like I'm at another level, right? Like, you know, I got guys doing 10, 15, 20K a month, and I'm doing like double, triple that. But
that's dope. You have a lot of students like doing pretty well, or clients doing really well.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah, I mean, dude, like
hey, real quick, when they get sales, doesn't it give you the same feeling of getting a sale?
It does. It's exciting because you know
you get that
you're
same
changing somebody's life.
I got that same endorphin when I saw clients make a sale. I'm like, yes, they made a sale. Because once they make their first sale, especially, you're like, they caught the bug. And they got the bug, like, oh my God, I can make money.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was one of my favorite parts, seeing clients make sales.
I mean, dude, it's just because it's to me, it's easier to sell the B2B because I feel like it's something that's, I mean, fitness, I guess, can be quantitative in a way, but like money, like that's something that I feel like
you're more passionate about it.
Yeah, like it's like, dude, if I can help somebody make an extra $10,000 a month and they're making 3 or 4, like, dude, that's fucking life changing. Like that can significantly upgrade somebody's lifestyle, their quality of life. So it's like, all right. Quinn came in. He was doing like 8 to 14. We got some VAs in, and now he's doing like consistent 20K months. It's like, bro, like he literally is doubling his online income. You know,
it's just doing more of the work and getting it delegated too.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is just delegation.
Yeah,
learning how to build a team.
If someone went in my business, they'd be like, "How are you sending this many DMs a day? We're delegating. We're doing things." That's really
nice. And that's just a part of the strategy piece that a lot of people don't have, and that's why they need mentors. Is because you get to a certain point where you can't do everything. You have to learn how to build a team And that's what I liked about working with Tanner is they're like, all right, like you need to bring, and even, not even just that, but like the mastermind I came down, talked to Devin Rodriguez. He's like, dude, you need to hire a fucking coach. Like you can't do all this shit. If you're at 20, 30K a month, you need to hire another coach. Right. So I went home, I'm like, fuck, 3K a month. Like that's a lot of money coming out of my pocket. But I mean, for the extra time that I get, it's worth it. Right. And a lot less stress, you know? So, but yeah, and we're actually, like I said, we're launching another offer because I mean, I think that's another ballpark, right? Starting your business is different from scaling it, and you need to learn how to build a team. So that's like another tier, another offer that we've built out.
0 to 10K, it's just doing the basic work.
It's easy.
10 to 50K, I work a lot, but okay, 10 to 30, 40K, doing more of the proven work. I'm just going to use 50 to 100. That's starting to do delegation. 100 plus is all the things I just said, plus paid marketing.
That's how I was expecting.
And then 250 and above is bringing in experts, even like expert delegation, experts, the best of sales, the best of marketing, the best. So that's really how you scale up, and we can look at them in levels. Yeah. But dude, yeah, you're crushing it. You're killing it, man. I love to see it. Dude, yeah. B2B is a lot more fulfilling, 100%, than fitness. Like fitness is incredible, and you're changing people's lives, right? Their health. But yeah, there's nothing that really matches watching someone go from having a normal job or being in a really bad financial situation to just making their first 5K, making their first 10K. Their life's different. Their family's thanking you. You know what I mean? So it's the move.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, like, how does it feel for you? And I think about this all the time because I know, like, it's kind of like a ripple effect, and the same thing will happen with some of my mentees. But like, how does it feel knowing that like you created a program? I was in school, I joined it. Now I'm in Miami, living like this, and it's from like all of your experiences led you to starting that, to building that, to helping me start. You know, and just. Yeah. It's kind of like a ripple effect. Like, how does that make you feel?
Dude, it's a trip. And you kind of just get so used to the motion, the flows, the next thing, the progression. But like moments when I look at like the event pictures and the awards, and I'm like, dude, this was just an idea. Like, because I only did it for a year and a half. I launched it last February. Yeah. And it's been a year and a half, and we had 300 people. We gave out almost 90 awards. Yeah, it was 90 awards, like meaning they hit at least 5K or above. Right. And almost everyone we worked with, you know, they were pretty new because that was our business model, was new people.
Bad niche.
Yeah, bad niche. Perhaps. It's tough. But it's a trip, man. But it's like, what life do you want to choose? I could have spent the last 5 years working at the club like most people my age do, but I just spent the last 5 years changing over 5,000 people's life in the gym with fitness. Over 300 with business, whether they quit or stayed in it, they still learned something. It still impacted them in some way. And that's kind of the thing that pushes me for my 30s. Then why I said, like, what keeps me up at night is I just want the next phase of my life to keep having those moments to look back and be like, damn, I did that. We're men, bro. We're supposed to be on a mission. We're supposed to be progressing. You're not supposed to get complacent, lazy. There's a difference between contentment and complacent. You can be content in the lowest lows, highest highs. You need to learn how to be content, but you should never be complacent. So when you ask me that, I don't realize it until moments like this. Like, that is crazy. Like, I just realized, like, yeah, that's cool. You were in school, now you're in a Miami penthouse, all because you went to a fucking show with Quinn. I gave you some things to do, and then it led to a ripple effect. It's a trip. And you don't really realize those moments or smell the roses until they're kind of like pointed out to you, because we're so focused. Yeah. And I think people who are more successful than us would tell us, like, stop to smell the roses more often, because you're going to wish you could go back to those times. So yeah,
it's like a trip. It's crazy because it's like, I mean, when I think about it, like, I have like 60 fitness clients, and it's like, all right, like, I'm helping, like, it's a business and I do want to change lives, but sometimes I don't realize that, like, these people are like literally, like, I'm literally adding years to these people's lives. Like, I'll say it on a sales call, but sometimes I don't even realize that, like, I'm literally giving these people confidence. I'm allowing them, or I'm helping them feel good in their clothes. I'm making them healthier, just live longer lives. It's like, it's crazy the impact that you can have, and a lot of times you don't even realize it.
Last thing I'll leave you with, you make as much money as value you provide. So if you're doing things and solving problems and you're adding value to the world, you're going to be rewarded for it. So last thing I'll leave you with, or anyone watching this, is learn how to provide value in some way. Learn how to put value into the marketplace, and you'll be very successful in life. Even if it moves slower than you think, if you just stay on it, stay with it, and you're doing good things and adding value, it's going to work out in your favor. And that's how it's worked out for me up to this point.
Yeah, and that was going to be my last question anyway. So it's going to be like, what's some advice you would give to like young entrepreneurs? So that was it. Just provide value. That's the thing. If you can provide value, you will make dollars. Like the business, client acquisition or marketing, sales, ops, like it's going to be the same regardless of the business that you're in. It's just learning like demand, what people need, and then how to fulfill that demand, value.
The business model is the same across the board.
It's the same.
Almost anything.
It's the same, and that's something that I've realized is it's like, you can niche fitness coaches, but I can't. It's not that I can just help fitness coaches. I can help any business start and scale. So it's like I have people that come to me and they're like, "Well, you've never, you're in fitness," and it's like, bro, like what you don't understand is that you make $5K a month, I make 50, and the business is while the business is very niche. The business model is the same.
Business model is the same, fulfillment's different.
You either have a lead problem or you have a fulfillment problem, right? You either can't scale because you can't handle that many clients. Alex Ramosi say it all the time.
Yeah.
Can you handle that more clients? Yes. Okay. Can you get those clients? No. You have a fucking marketing problem. Client acquisition is your bottleneck. So, and that's most people's bottleneck. That's definitely hard.
They haven't even got to the point where they can't not handle it.
Yeah.
They don't even know how to get to that point yet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you pulling up, and yeah, we'll get up. Did you say what you got?
Yeah. He's in Miami now, so I'll be seeing you a lot more. Hey, thanks for having me, bro.
My God.